Hello and welcome back to the Monsters of Monster Hunter Double Cross, where today we are taking on Chameleos. And it used to be my least favorite of the Gen 2 Elder Dragon trio, but now it's my favorite. It has been since 4U when it came back, because they changed it enough to make it actually fun, in my opinion. Plus, its animations are all just adorable. Easily the cutest Elder Dragon, and that's what really matters. Also, we're going to be using Guild Glaive, because after the last time where I was wishing I had a fully upgraded glaive, I went and looked, and sure enough, I was able to fully upgrade the Cutku glaive. And as an added bonus, it is a cut-type weapon that does fire damage. And back in 4U, you needed fire damage to cut a Cammy's tail. I don't believe that's the case today. But just in case it is, I figured let's bring some fire damage. So let's go find us a lizard. I bet it'll start where most things do. Nope, no lizard here. I mean, once we do find it, it's a sometimes invisible lizard, but thankfully this isn't Freedom Unite. And instead of being invisible most of the time, it's visible most of the time. And that change is a very important one. And I can't help but feel like I really should have brought Psycho Serum. I don't think it would be in the caves, but then again, it might start in that one cave where things sometimes start. It probably starts in there, and unfortunately, there's no real fast way to get there from here. From down where we just were is probably the fastest, but I'm not going that way. For no reason other than I choose not to. Instead, we'll go around this way. Yeah, it probably started in that cave. Wouldn't surprise me at this point. There's our lizard. Boop. Okay, bye. Wow, we didn't even get the "you've been spotted" thing. Even though we painted him, he turned to face us, and then we smacked him once. This is a really unobservant lizard. Hey, lizard. I see you've noticed me now. It's a little tricky to get orange essence from Chameleos, but it is doable. Basically, you hit him on the side or like the chest, but you gotta be a little careful. And by the way, Chameleos' tail is the pickiest tail in the entire game when it comes to severing it. Like in 4U, you had to specifically use at least 1 point of fire damage on it. And depending on whether you were fighting it in the Everwood or not, it either was or wasn't, but in reverse order. In the Everwood, it was not a percentage break, but outside the Everwood, it was a percentage break. So you could only sever it when Cammy was below 30%. But in the Everwood, you could sever it at any time, and it took like no effort whatsoever, as long as you were hitting it specifically on that little curlicue at the end. And it was just really annoying. And ever since Cammy came back in 4U, it has been annoying to get Cammy's tail. Also, way to steal my freaking Mega Potion, you jerk. In case you haven't realized it, Cammy's a thief. And does lots of poison things. And has a tail that's annoying to cut. Used to be, back in the old days, Cammy's theme would only play when it was enraged. Whereas now we get to hear it all the time, which is good because it's a great theme. And also, Cammy would be invisible by default and only go visible when using attacks. Unless you either broke its horn and cut its tail, because back then you did have to do both. Or if you used a sonic bomb on it while it was visible, it would stay visible for a little while. But nowadays, well, actually, still one more thing from back then. If you used a smoke bomb and the Cammy was between you and the origin of the smoke, then you could see it as like a little vacant area in the smoke, which was kind of cool. And I guess Capcom really liked the idea of seeing Cammy through the smoke, especially with it being the Elder Dragon of Mist and all. So I guess they decided that, hey, when it's enraged, let's have it spew out a bunch of smoke that makes it slightly harder to see. But only slightly, really. And it also makes it so that flash bombs don't work, so I guess that's also an important thing. Give me some white essence. There we go. And let's go ahead and get some swarm action going here. Our swarm was really going to work on that tail. So that attack right there is Cammy's most damaging, other than one that it can only use when raging. But it's also super easy to dodge. Literally just roll in any direction and it won't hit you. Also, I have no idea whether or not Swarm is actually helping us with this mount. It doesn't look like it is. But it was definitely making noises. And I guess since we're over here, let's bug blow this face. Pow! While we still had Swarm, no less. So Cammy, much like Cushy, was the only one of the trio to have horns breakable without dragon back in the day. Though now you can break all of them without any element. Cammy had something unique going on for it in that it was the only one without a roar. Yeah, this is Cammy's most damaging attack right here. They changed its color between 4U and Cross or Double Cross, whenever they brought it back. I think it was Cross Generations. But either way, They changed its color. It used to be greenish. Now it's purple because it's poison, and I guess they didn't want it to be differently colored than the rest of its poison. Because, I mean, it was kind of weird. Also, Cammy can be knocked down by flinching more than just his face, which is nice. I think Cammy's tail is an HP break in this game. I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, then I've got issues. Because if it's not, then it's far and away the hardest tail cut to actually get, and I went the wrong way. Oops. Yeah, if I just zoomed in, I'd see, oh yeah, I just gotta go to 6. But no, I was trying to trust my brain. Give me that red. There we go. Okay. Of course, I can't spend all of my effort on the tail because we do want to break the nose because otherwise it can continue to go perfectly invisible. Even though it only rarely does so in this game, and unlike in 4U, it doesn't teleport when it goes invisible. Like, it always has to fly the full distance from where it is to where it wants to be. It's still nice to break it and be able to see exactly where he's going. Okay, guess I'll just miss them. Seriously, dodge any direction and that will not hit you. As long as your dodge isn't, like, blocked by a wall or something. If you dodge any direction and you actually get to go the whole distance of your dodge, it won't hit you. I was kind of hoping the poison would disappear before my jump finished, but guess not. And hey, got the bug blow in. And actually managed to get a hit, I think, before we ran out of Swarm. I don't know why I just went for Essence, but okay. I guess I did. Uh-oh. Don't want to be close to him during this, because he can sweep it around like that at any time. It's a very scary attack. Don't know why I'm really sharpening right now. This weapon doesn't have much purple. And purple's only a 5% boost. You stole my ancient potion? What a jerk. Also, what a jerk for giving me orange essence. I don't need orange. But apparently you can get it from the wings, so good to know. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that they made Cammy stop spending most of the fight being invisible. Because if they didn't, there wouldn't actually be too much point to doing a, hey, this is what Cammy looks like in HD in this game video. Oh, don't bring it towards you. Send it away. I do find it interesting that they made in Gen 4 Cammy's like Poison Spit stick around and allow him to manipulate it with his wings by bringing it either towards him or sending it away. I just wish he'd send the big one away more often. Oh. I dare say it's time for another swarm. Not a good attack to jump into, but we're okay for now. Actually, apparently, if you stay right under his tail, you're pretty safe. Another thing that is good to know. Okay, bye. Cammy just looks weird when he's flying. Those wings are not nearly big enough. Well, I guess he had already jumped away. Still, he's got to be somewhere. Ah, he's in this direction. You can always tell which direction a Cammy's going to be in by whether or not you do the panic run or just a regular run. Well, so much for that bug blow. If we hadn't startled him into doing his breath attack, maybe it would have worked out. Because that breath attack he does only do in response to taking hits during certain animations. And that's a tail flinch. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the tail alone for a little while. That's... Oh, it's probably because this is a regular quest and not an event quest that they only give us the 35 minutes, whereas for the Cushy they gave us 50. And just barely succeeded on that ride because I had forgotten that Cammy likes to be a little trickster with the ride, giving you just a brief window of green before struggling one more time. Also, dropping down to blue sharp during that was less than ideal. Incidentally, Cammy is quite susceptible to paralysis, though it doesn't last very long. So if ever you want to create yourself like a 2-second window, just bring a paralysis weapon. You'll get plenty of them. So I'm thinking if I use Bug Blow as soon as it's ready, and then wait for Swarm to charge up, I'll probably have another Bug Blow ready before it's time to use it. So I've probably been just leaving damage on the table here. But whatever. I find it interesting. Cammy's little rhythmic tail slams like that one, well, that wasn't rhythmic, but his tail slams, they always caused wind, but it used to be dragon wind. Now it seems to just be high wind, or maybe even just regular wind. I wonder why they nerfed it. Yeah, that's high wind. Give me that red. There we go. I see how it is. You're protecting your tail. You know I want to cut it. But I did say I was going to leave it alone for a while because we need to get in the face. We also can break its back. And incidentally, in Monster Hunter 4U, breaking its back or its face both would make it so that it couldn't go 100% invisible. Breaking its nose was, of course, the superior option, but breaking its wings made it so that the broken part, well, its back and its wings are a single break, and breaking that made it so that the part that was broken actually was at least kind of visible when Chameleos was otherwise completely invisible. So it was a useful break to get. Not the easiest, though. It did take like 3 or 4 rides if you were going to get it through rides alone. Oh, thanks for letting me get red from your nose. Very nice of you. Oh, I let Swarm run out without noticing. Sharpen just yet, but I'll have it at the ready. Uh-oh. Let's get under that tail. Let's continue being under that tail. Okay. So yeah, and for you, he would have already appeared and started attacking again by now. Because when he went invisible like that, he would literally teleport from place to place. And you could tell that that's what he was doing because after breaking his nose and thus making it so that he couldn't teleport, it would take him significantly longer to actually travel between where he was and where he was going when he did that go invisible and go somewhere thing. But nowadays, he doesn't do any teleporting whatsoever, which honestly, I feel like the teleporting actually made the fight a little more dynamic, even if it was kind of silly when you noticed it. Like, it didn't really make it much harder. It actually kept the action moving. So honestly, I feel like they probably could have kept it, and it would have been just fine. Fine, but silly. Dude reared his head up in such a way as to just prevent me from... Yeah, that rhythmic tail slam. Which in the olden days, he would always follow up with a lick attack. But just a single target lick, not a sweep like that. But clearly nowadays, they just completely changed the rhythmic tail beats. Thanks for putting your tail there. I don't think it was the part of the tail that I actually need to be hitting to get the cut, but... I mean, hey, it's something. So that was a face flinch. Certainly no face break yet. Oops. Oh, hi. Thanks for not sending me back out there. Apparently he doesn't like getting hit during his little chameleon slow walk thing. And I mean, really, I wouldn't want to get hit when practicing the ritual of my people either. Oh. Apparently I was low on regular potions. Shouldn't make a huge difference unless... Oh, maybe he stole one. That's probably it. I probably just wasn't paying attention to all the things he stole. We don't really need orange essence against Cammy, considering it provides... The most important thing it provides is earplugs. It also provides some resistance to knockback effects, but Cammy doesn't really have any significant knockbacks anyway. But I guess we've got orange essence now. What I'm trying to say is I just don't really need to make getting it a priority. Red essence, on the other hand, increases our damage output by like 50%, so yes, please. I gotta say, Cammy has perhaps the most obvious rage tell of any monster in the game. What with how he spews out the fog, and thus the fog is literally everywhere while he's enraged, and also while he's raging, he has more fog coming out of his mouth. Like, just most obvious rage tell of any monster. Perhaps in the series. Though that's only applicable for Gen 4 Cammy. Though I guess Gen 2 Cammy had a pretty obvious one as well, with music starting to play. Also, I let my swarm run out without bug blowing again. Hey, we got the nose. I mean, we hit it. It's not broken yet. There it is. Good job, cat. You did it. And now I gotta get that tail, but apparently not yet. Oh, paint wore off. That's not great. So I went that way, which means we jump off this cliff. There we go. Stop stealing my mega potions. Okay. If his tail is indeed a health-based break, it's still a picky one. But since we've broken his nose, he can no longer go fully invisible, so we've got that going for us. He seems to like doing 2 paps and then a walk. So it seems he still does have preferences with what to do with the rhythmic tail beats. Just not the same as they used to be. I feel like if we get one more ride, we'll get the back break. And that would allow me to focus on the tail. I'm going to be really upset if I don't cut the tail. So at this rate, I should probably also be considering actually finishing the quest, too. Going for the tail is not the most damage-efficient option. And we are running a little low on time. Though the fact that we broke his nose means that he must be below 30%. Question then is, how much below? Because we don't know whether or not the nose break happened exactly at the hitting of 30%, or if it happened well below it because we just hadn't hit the face enough. It could be either one, and we have no way of knowing. Yep, there's the back break. Now, Tail, if you would so politely come undone from that body, that would be wonderful. There we go. I love that it just stays a little curly-Q once you cut it. It's adorable. #1 cutest cut tail in the game. Unfortunately, we don't get to see some of Cammy's cutest animations in this map. When he looks down and then comes down from a higher elevation, like a canopy, that's the cutest animation he has. And unfortunately, there are no canopies here, so we can't see it. Also, I should grab this sparkly before it's too late. Yes, this is a fully broken Cammy, so we do have that. And he should die before too long. One hopes. Ooh, almost got hit because we bounced, but it does give you plenty of time to get out of the way. Just getting in close so that Swarm can do its work. Its side is not the best part of a Cammy to hit, but it's the best part for Swarm. And here is a Cammy not being fully invisible. I wonder where Cammy went. While it's invisible, it's actually weaker to element damage. So that's a thing. Now, ow. Cammy, if you would just die, that would be great. Thank you, cat. Seriously, you're leaving? You didn't even limp. What's your deal? Why didn't you limp? Surely it must be in limping territory. We've done enough damage to get it low enough to break its horn, and then we did a lot more damage after that. What's your deal, Cammy? Teach me your secrets. What essence do these guys have? Red. Okay. I had never had an opportunity to find out. Why didn't you limp, lizard? The fact that it didn't limp means we're probably not going to kill it, but at least we can get a pretty good look at its textures anyway. It's not the most mobile Elder Dragon. They really went hard on the bump mapping to make the scales really pop as individual things, like on its entire body. So it's got that going for it. Though they also went hard on the bump mapping on its side here, which just happens to make it look kind of flabby. Which just adds to the cuteness. Again, Cammy, cutest Elder Dragon. If you disagree, I will fight you. But hey, we're not here to fight each other. We're here to fight Cammy. Now seems a good time for a bug block, or not. Ow. Incidentally, Cammy's poisons don't last very long at all. They just happen on several of his attacks. Including that one. Come on, lizard. Stop flying from place to place. I need you to just stay on the ground so that I can make you drop dead. Kind of annoying that walking into that does some slight damage. And that did more than slight damage. Let's go ahead and use this. Apparently he stole our other one at some point. Thieving jerk. Also, if you pay attention to Cammy's eyes, you'll notice that they do, in fact, look in different directions. Just like a real chameleons do. It's cute. Hey, we got him. Do you just not limp or something? I know he at least used to limp back and for you. It was an adorable animation with an adorable noise. Yeah. He's surprisingly shiny. Though the textures on his face are not my cup of tea. Also, those fangs. Yeah, they really, really pumped the bump mapping on here. Because, like, from this angle, we can see that this is very much a flat texture. But then from up here, look at all that. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Cammy's textures, but the fight is fun, at least in 4th gen. And the shininess and bump mapping do take away from the texture qualities downsides. Like, they take attention away from the low quality of the texture. So it doesn't have to be as good as textures on certain other monsters. Plus, we get to hear Cammy's music for the whole fight now, which is just a big plus. And that was my smallest lizard in this game. And that is going to be it for this episode. Join us next time when we deal with the last of the Gen 2 Elder Dragon trio, Teostra. See you then, friends.